I'm Brooks Rayford. I'm president of the North Carolina Technology Association, or NC Tech. We have quite a few of you signed up for today's webinar. We appreciate you making time to join us. I'd like to ask everyone to put their settings on mute for our presentation. You can use the chat function for questions. Our team will monitor that and be able to share any questions that come with our speaker. And you'll have an opportunity to do that throughout the presentation, but we'll get to the questions toward the conclusion. So on behalf of NC Tech and our member, excuse me, reacHIRE, thank you for joining us for a webinar on driving engagement and community in the new world of virtual work. For the past few years, NC Tech has partnered with reacHIRE on areas of focus regarding bringing women back to the workforce. reacHIRE might sound familiar to some of you. We've collaborated on a few sessions, including a well-attended program in the Triangle on Women in the Workplace, which featured McKinsey and Company sharing data on how companies need to focus efforts earlier in the pipeline to support women moving into more senior roles, followed by a panel discussion with local female tech CEOs, CIOs, and supporters. Also, a couple of years ago at our Outlook for Tech annual kickoff event, reacHIRE was featured during the luncheon program. More recently, reacHIRE has developed a platform to support the retention and success of women in the workplace. Today's webinar will share some ways to help drive the employee engagement and community, especially as we navigate the new work of remote work and social distancing during the COVID-19 experience. We will also see a brief demo of the platform that we feel would be a great tool for companies to consider utilizing in their workplace. I'm pleased to introduce to you Addie Swartz, founder of 3 companies focused around empowering women and work. Most recently, she launched reacHIRE in 2013. As CEO of reacHIRE, Addie works with Fortune 500 companies and talent innovators to drive high engagement and low attrition of women early in their careers via the Aurora platform, and women returning to work using their proven cohort model. As a thought leader and advocate for transforming and diversifying the talent pipeline, we're excited to have her and her team partnering with NC Tech. So welcome to NC Tech, Addie.
Thanks so much, Brooks. We've been thrilled to partner with you and your whole team over the past few years. And I am thrilled to be sharing my learnings, some of my learnings about women and work over my career. So let's get started. I thought it would be helpful for us to just give you a background about who reacHIRE is. So we partner with companies to find, support, and develop exceptional female talent. And we do this 2 ways, both on the recruiting and developing end, and also on the retention end, through our signature back to work programs and through our new digital platform, Aurora, that you're gonna hear a little bit more about today. I've been working on these issues for decades, and what I've learned is, number 1, that a career break doesn't have to be a career breaker. With so much knowledge and experience that so many women offer, to be able to not go back is not acceptable. So that's why we started reacHIRE 7 years ago, to help women go back to work. But companies need diverse talent at all levels, and they need to develop the skills and the leadership to really innovate and positively impact bottom line performance. That's been proven. So the key is, how do you do that? The current strategies, if you actually look at the research over the last number of years, there's been no change in the results in looking at women and the trajectory for them in organizations. In fact, the famous McKinsey Lean In study that comes out every fall hasn't moved the needle much for organizations or women. So with no change, we need new tools, new thinkings, and new ways to reach women where they need the extra support, curriculum, and skills in order to achieve what they really need to achieve in order to be successful in their corporations. We've had tremendous impact, and these are just some of the organizations where we've changed lives and impacted cultures. And this is really important because these companies have made a commitment to the gender talent pipeline and made it a business critical imperative so that they are actually building and growing their women leaders right from the start and all the way through, both through recruiting and retaining in ways that are innovative and different. What you see here is just a small sampling of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women that we have placed back that are thriving and growing and making business impact. Also now, we're adding hundreds and hundreds of women on the Aurora platform who are in their companies today, who are looking to grow and strive within their own organizations. We've spent almost a decade of work and have tremendous data and experience on this, and that's what I'm going to be sharing a bit with you today. It's all about creating this supportive community and creating higher levels of engagement. And I think in this COVID-19 pandemic that we're in, we need to do more now than ever, and that's what I'm going to talk about. So let's look at today's discussion. I'm first going to touch on the current climate, which is going to frame some of the challenges that women have faced in the past, but are really facing more front and center today, especially as they're navigating work and home and the demands of that. We're also going to look at the power of community and focus on this because we believe this is a key ingredient. The team approach has been a signature way that reacHIRE has gone and made change, and that signature approach is what you'll see through the Aurora platform, which we're very excited to introduce you to. And then after we have a chance to do a little bit of a deeper dive on Aurora through a live demo, we'll open it up for questions. And as Brooke said earlier, please send your questions through the chat and we'll get to them at the end. So now let's move to, what does that current climate look like? Well, the headlines are momentous. The challenges businesses are facing across the board with this pandemic are really quite insurmountable. Thank goodness for tools like Zoom, Google Hangouts, Blue Jeans, etc. Whatever you're using in your company certainly is helpful to keep conversations going and the agenda moving forward. But is that enough? And the question that we believe is, it's not enough for women, it's not enough for communities, and it's not enough for organizations to continue building that tight-knit culture that impacts their organizations and their productivity. So it's clear that both men and women, we're all facing this paradigm shift. We're working remotely, we're multitasking. What I find every day is I've got 100 more things to do than I ever realized I had the day before. And there just are, for women, as you see with the headlines, I feel like I have 5 jobs. Moms navigating the pandemic. Coronavirus disruptions weigh more heavily on women, and the coronavirus is a disaster for feminism. More than ever, what we're seeing is this increased burden on everyone, and women are scrambling to try and balance it all, even more so than ever before. Their family needs, working with work obligations, and it all gets intermingled because it's all in the same spot, providing daycare, sharing workspaces, domestic responsibilities. I know I have 3 working adults in my home now, and I have added responsibilities like walking my dogs because our dog walker can't get here anymore in the middle of the day. So, and on top of that, those women that actually have school-age children, they're trying to make sure that there's activity and value that their children are getting every day through either their online schools or extra curriculum that they're able to help infuse them. So teaching school while doing work, having added even more stress and strain on women who typically have more responsibility. Women want to be successful in their careers. There's no doubt about it. They are as energized to have a serious career as men do. But now they're carrying more of the burden, which is really increasing them and creating a heavier mental load, more stress, and more burnout. And the last thing we want to do especially in the technology space, but in general. But we want to keep women in the workforce. We don't want to have them drop out because there's just too much stress and strain on them. So the question is, what can organizations do to support women during this time, where it's even more than ever before a need for more support, more care, more connectivity, and more community so that they're able to continue and contribute at the levels that they were before? Well, we think it's all about the power of community. That community is the secret. And research has shown that women are 2.5 times more likely to become high performers if they have a tight-knit circle of women at work. Not just women in general, but women at work who are going through the same things, the same stresses and strains, the same deadlines, the same responsibilities. And so if you're able to create more high performers in your current organization, there'll be more women in the talent pipeline at all levels of leadership. We did a study earlier this year, and it proved that women's needs are different. They network differently. They are looking for different things, and they need different things in order to move themselves ahead. Our study that we did in January of this year showed that almost 2/3 of early career women don't feel that they're supported at work. 2/3, that's crazy. So why is it that, the bulk of the women don't feel that they are getting the support they need to achieve and go where they want to go with their career? So that is, female connections are the secret weapons, and we need to figure out ways in order to bolster them, in order to have them thrive. So what's the solution? Well, we believe there are 4 key things that we all need to do to accelerate female talent. So this is our secret sauce. This is our formula, so to speak. So first of all, don't invest in just the high pose, those high potential women that, already have defined themselves after 5 to 7 years. Investing in leadership development earlier will create more of a pipeline of professional female talent that can move up the ladders of success. Right now, and I mentioned it earlier, the famous Women in the Workplace report from McKinsey, in October, they released a report that showed that for every 72 women that are being promoted from individual contributor to manager, there are 100 men. How is that okay when women are graduating with more degrees from college and graduate school than men and are entering the workplace at even rates? In fact, if we were to actually equalize and get women to promote at the same level of men from that first individual contributor role to manager, we'd have 5 million more women in management 5 years from now. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that we really need to focus on helping women achieve their personal and professional goals and have them create and develop a muscle where they know how to create goals professionally and drive them. And you'll see that in the platform. So if you're able to have that accountability, it makes a huge difference. In fact, it's been proven that you're 42% more likely to achieve a goal if you write it down and share it. And so that is a key piece of the Aurora experience, that goal setting, that goal sharing, and that achieving small, medium, and larger goals holistically across work, career, and your personal life. Next, really building on community, offering those expanded networks so that women have more support in their organization, and create structured environments. ERGs are wonderful, employee resource groups, but in order to create smaller, engaged, connected communities, that is the key. And that's where you'll see a lot of work's been done from our side. It enables women to have safe, confidential environments where they're able to build their skills, build their networks, build that community, and then together move ahead. Lastly, The fourth key thing is to provide the tools that they need to be more confident, to better navigate the organization and become the effective leaders that they can be. A big stat here that's really interesting is that, did you know that women's confidence drops by almost half as they progress in their careers, even within the first 2.5 to 3 years, while women and men start out at the same confidence levels when they enter the work world, women's confidence drops by almost half. Why is that so? And how can we do more to support those women that have that same ambition, that want to strive and get ahead, and have the tools and the education in order to make that happen? This is the reason why we developed Aurora. It accomplishes all of these things, all in a virtual platform. And we designed this 3 years ago, well before the pandemic, when everybody was working virtually from home. So let's now meet Aurora. And we'll meet Aurora first with some explanation, and then we'll dive into a demo. So what Aurora is a 100% virtual tool that helps companies help their women build skills, confidence, and networks, all in an environment that is confidential. And it's all built around a number of things that I call surround sound. So it's all about having an expert guide who is a senior level professional who actually has made it through the ranks and has so much experience to pay it forward to this next generation of women. This guide is guiding a group of women on a journey, and you'll see the cadence of how that works over a 6-month period. But there's the platform, which is accessible 24/7, providing also one-on-one coaching support with your guide. You have a team of peers, typically they're 12 to 14 women that are together, that move on this journey with each other. And then it has curriculum and real life stories, and then team meetups that offer connectivity around specific topics that are important to build skills around. And we are really excited about how this tool is really set for this crazy world that we're in right now. So let's take a look at the cadence, and this is how it looks. So basically the circles are team meetups, and you have your guide in the center around your group of typically 12 to 14 women that are from your company. Interspersed is one-on-one sessions with your guide, and that guide guides you on a journey that includes the curriculum, the community, and the connection, all built around something which is the Aurora platform, which is 24/7 focused on goal setting, curriculum, resources, and community. So now I'm going to launch into the demo, and please, again, if you have questions, put them in that chat box. Just give me a minute while we launch into the platform. So here is Eleonora, and this is a sample. This is not a live person because we have many groups on our platform right now, but they're all confidential. So this is a demo. Can't see it. Okay.
Addie, you need to stop sharing the presentation and then click.
Okay. Okay, hold on a second. There we go. Okay, can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Oh,
So here is Aurora for the second time. And this is Eleonora. She is a junior software developer. I'm going to walk you through her world on Aurora. This is her team. This is her guide, Kathy, who is the was a VP of engineering with 20 years plus experience. And you can read a little bit about Kathy's profile if you want to learn more about Kathy. You see her superpowers, you can connect with her to schedule a meeting, you can see her LinkedIn profile, you learn a little bit more about her, etc. We're going to go back to the team. And you'll see the rest of my team now. These are my other team members that are in my company in different jobs who are also part of my Aurora experience and community. So this is Jessica, and you can see Jessica's profile. And again, you see some of the same features that you saw with the guide, with the LinkedIn profile, or how many high fives and positive vibes she's given, which are likes and comments on our platform, the superpowers that she's identified for herself, a little bit more about her, and other people that have given her high fives and positive vibes and ones that she's given as well. So that's a little bit about her team. And now we're going to go into the goal setting tool, which is something I shared with you earlier, how important it is to write down your goals. And here is Eleonora's goals. As you can see, just going to close these. I'm not going to close that. As you can see, her goals are set up between work, life, and career. And there's a My Goals and a My Wins section. You create your goals, and I'll show that in a second. And then there's a section when you've completed your goals or you've had positivity happen in your work world, you can add those pluses to your wins section. But we're going to add a new goal here. And as you can see, it's kind of a holistic approach looking at goals related to work, life, and career. So we're going to add a new goal. And the goal I'm going to add today to show you how easy it is just typing this in, getting my project prioritized by the lead development team. And I am going to say that that's something that I need to work on with my influence skills. I am going to set a date for ease, April 30th, and I'm going to create the steps that I need in order to get that done. And I'm going to say my first step is do an analysis of project results to date. That's my first step. My second step is meet with key stakeholders to get their feedback and input. And then step 3 is refine my presentation with quotes, and then set up high-level meeting. Okay, and then I have a choice of either sharing this with my team or making it private. Keep this goal between me and my guide. Some personal things about life you might not want to share, but if you actually share this goal, it'll go right into your feed, which I'll show you in a minute. So we're saving this goal. And then right below my goal setting tool is getting my project prioritized by the lead development team. And you can see that it is open here because I have left it open for anybody on my team to share. So I am going to mark this as done. And then I'm going to go to my wins section, and it says your goal is marked as completed. And then this is my kudos file. And my kudos file means that I can, all my goals when they're completed come here, but I can also right here upload a great email I received from my manager who said I did a good job on a project, or a team meeting that we just had where I got a lot of energy out of it. And I can actually add a photo as well. and save it. But right now I'm going to just show you that there's the goal that I created. I set it up and I completed it, and I feel really good about that. These are other goals. This is like my Pinterest file of all my goals and all my successes. And here in yellow is our props and praise, which is that top block there that I said earlier where I wanted to add that we had a great all-team meeting today, and I added a picture. So this is a little bit about my wins. So now we're going to go back to the home page, and I'm going to show you that my home page is a place where I know I get a lot of information about what's going on. One is I can see how many goals, my progress, how many goals I've set or met against work, life, and career. There's a gratitude tracker. This is all about, it's all about we, and that if we together support each other, we will all rise. And so this is sort of my personal tracker on how many high fives or likes I've given to my team members and how many positive vibes I've given. This also shows how many high fives the team has given as a whole that I'm on and the positive vibes. Remember, here's another view of my team on the left. And then you can see that into the feed went Eleonora completed a work goal. Now this is a feed similar to Facebook, but it only has the 12 or 14 people on the guide that are in this feed. It's all about confidence, positivity, completion of goals, and sharing other information. It has lots of messages. You can see a quote from Michelle Obama that went up today. Samantha, one of my teammates, added a career goal. Nora added a work goal, etc. Lucy completed a life goal, etc. And it goes on, and people can actually upload articles to share, etc. Just want to show one more thing. There's also goals I'm working on right here on this page, and then there is a resource section that shows some of the resources that are part of our curriculum that is set up with specific leadership building blocks that we talk about at every meetup and through that 6-month journey. And you can view your resources and mark them as done. There's a progress tracker that shows your individual goals in a larger way, as well as gratitude that you've given others and received. So here's where you hear the received part of the gratitude tracker. And then this is what your team is focusing their goals on, which is really interesting. The other neat thing, and this shows how many times your team has met and how many times you've met, etc. So that's a little bit about the goals, the wins, my progress, resources, and the team. And the only other thing I'd like to share on the work goal, which is really cool, is that not only can you give somebody high fives or positive vibes, meaning a comment, but you can also learn more about that goal. And then if you want to replicate that goal because somebody on your team created a goal that you'd like to replicate and do just the same thing, you can copy that goal and make it your own. So that's a little bit about the platform for the individual. Again, it's tied to the group meetups where there's 90-minute sessions interspersed as a team throughout that 6-month journey where specific curriculum is discussed, interpreted, and shared. So now I'm going to sign out. Please, again, you might have some questions, and I'm going to just show the HR dashboard because this is a tool for HR leaders to understand more of what's going on in their organization. So this is the HR dashboard, and what I will say is that you can have many, many groups in your company participate. I'm just going to show you this in a general way, but this allows the HR leader to, in a aggregate form, so the HR team does not have access to any of the individual participant inner workings, but they do have access to this. This shows usage metrics of the platform, how many active participants there are, how many high fives or positive vibes, how many team meetups have happened, how many one-on-one sessions have happened. All this is, part of that 6-month program Cadence that then after that 6 months can continue on with additional meetups, additional one-on-ones, but the interactivity of the platform continues. This area here over on the right, I'm hoping that you can see my cursor, shows trending topics. And those trending topics are what we call meta tags. Guides are listening in on the group meetups and on the one-on-one sessions, and then they're tagging conversations to show what are the topics of the day, which is very exciting. In addition, for the HR leader, they can see the different areas that people are setting goals around. And if they see that, relationship with managers, something that people are working really hard on, they can provide more programming in different ways directly to their women. So this is actually like a litmus test and shows you a little bit more about what's going on in your organization with these women. And then we have company cultural indicators that talk, and we do a baseline survey at the beginning as well as throughout the program. So there'll be some data points to show how engaged and energized, what the retention level is going to be. Are you planning on being here a year from now, et cetera? And then behavioral impact indicators that are all about, how are you doing in terms of building relationships with networking skills? Where do you feel your confidence is? And how are you doing to build those skills? So that's a little bit about the data dashboard. Okay, now the key is, I guess I'm going to stop the share, and then I'm going to share screen again, and then I'm going to go back to this screen and share. And are we back to that?
We can see your notes, Addie.
Okay. Okay, so let's escape. Let's escape. This is the work from home situation.
Click on display settings on the top of your.
Okay, hold on a second. So I think what I need to do is go here. Hold on one second. Slideshow from, okay. Okay, well, we'll keep going. Can you see that? Oh no, you probably can't see that now.
Nope, we don't see anything yet.
Okay. Slide. Okay, so I think what I have to do is go into share. And
Addie, we do have a few questions too. I don't know if you want me to go ahead and get started now or wait until you've gotten back to the place.
Can you see that?
Yep, we can see the presentation now.
Great. Okay, so I only have 2 more slides, but if you'd like me to finish the slides or I can take questions, I was just going to get to what women, what we can do today to impact women's careers.
Yeah, that's great. Why don't you go ahead and finish up, and then we'll move to questions.
Okay, sounds good. So what I think that we as HR leaders can do today is immediately create some virtual coffees and allow mid to senior level executives to hold like little, almost like round tables for smaller groups of women, share their stories, share, they're feeling like in this COVID-19 epidemic where everyone is constrained to their houses, and share with authenticity and empathy. We do an exercise called My Life Storyline where we bring senior leaders in, and through this technology that we have through the platform, you're able to chart your journey and your career. And so the ability to like share that with others, to share those vulnerabilities is really important. It makes everybody more human, more accessible, and just provides a little laughter in what is a very difficult and stressful time. Especially senior women sharing some of the stresses and strains they're experiencing, managing family, children, and work all in the same small space. I also think it's great to provide casual spots where gathering can occur online. In my company, what we've done is create something called the virtual water cooler, which I think many people have heard about now, where you can just hop on and somebody might be there in your company. You have a few minute break between meetings and you check to see who else is there. It's kind of fun to do that and just shoot the breeze about something. We also have a cocktail hour and a meditation moment spread throughout the week. So we're really connecting with each other in more informal ways to kind of let out some steam and be together as a community. And then I think the last thing, which of course is what we're all about, what we've invested the last 3 years of research and development in, is look for ways to invest in your talent that will have long-term benefits. And that is, Aurora. So the ability to really connect in small teams across an organization, cross-functionally, to empower women to confidentially share some of their stresses, to be able to set goals, to be able to get a leader who is not just a mentor, but somebody who's been there and done that, who can really help women navigate an organization and navigate through some of the stresses that will help them get to those next levels. And that's really important. With Aurora, you can launch it within 14 days. It's very easy to integrate and it's very affordable. So it's all about, how can we provide more support, more curriculum, more guidance in the terms of, one-to-one guidance for the real life person, team connection with a guide and a journey on a curriculum, the community of women that can connect with each other 24/7, and then, a fun environment that helps people share and laugh together. So with that, open to questions.
So we've got about 5 minutes left for questions, and we have a question submitted via chat. Addie, can individuals sign up to use Aurora, or do employers need to enroll?
Well, we just launched it officially. It's been in beta for a year, but we just launched it officially in February. And right now it's designed for companies to adopt this for their women. So women don't pay anything and the companies are the ones supporting their teams.
Great. When you talk about investing in women earlier in their career, what time frame do you mean?
Well, we are focusing on the first 5 to 8 years of a woman's experience in the workplace. But given what's been going on recently, we're looking to build upon that as well. But it's a pretty wide swath, between the first 5 to 8 years of an employee's experience.
Okay. If anyone has any questions, you can go ahead and submit them via chat. The next question is, can you share more about the role of guides on Aurora?
Yeah, so it's just a really fun job, and it's, you get paid for it, you get a memorial for it, but it's all about engaging with 12 to 14 women at one time, bringing them on a journey, using your experience, common sense, overlaying with the curriculum that we have had experts design about growing and thriving and succeeding. So it's easy, it's fun, it's a way of paying it forward, and it's a really meaningful experience that really helps people and provides that positivity and personal connection and just good common sense.
Addie, can you share some success stories you have with a team-based learning approach?
Sure. Well, just recently we had a team of women come together in their 90-minute team meetup. And at the end, one was talking about her frustration with trying to find a new role, trying to move herself in a new direction, reaching out to her boss. And as she was doing so, you know, took the big leap of getting her gumption up and sending that email, and then didn't hear anything. She waited and waited, then brought it up at the team meetup. Turned out that somebody else in her group had had that manager a few years earlier and had said, you know what, you might need to ping him again. Maybe he missed it, or maybe he was involved with something else. So after, you know, some time had passed, she pinged him again. It was just that little impetus she needed to re-engage in the conversation. And that is what started her in a new job and a new career. Within a month, she was in the new role, you know, growing and exploring new things that she was interested in. So it's that, you know, that community connection and that push, as well as that guide that's giving, you know, here's when to push, here's when not to, giving that guidance. Great.
We've got one more question. This goes back to the guides. Do guides need to be from the same organization?
Right now, we have guides that we bring in that are not affiliated with the organization. So there is no information about that individual company or those individual managers or players that get involved. There's a possibility, given the company and the size of it, that there might be opportunity for guides to come from that same organization. And that could be a learning, growing opportunity for those mid-level women that have had some success and are looking to, you know, help nurture the next generation.
Great. Well, that concludes our webinar for this afternoon. Thank you to the reacHIRE team and for everyone who plugged in today to listen to the webinar. We'll be sending an email out with some additional information, and thank you again.
Thank you so much. Bye.